Hello, my beautiful collective. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Lotus, Lotus the Sage. Thank you so much for joining me. So today's reading is going to be a self-definition. Who am I now? So we have pick a deck for you guys today. It's all a Morgan, wow, it's all the traditional tarot, just different makers. This is the ⴑ Tarot for pile 1. This is traditional tarot, just a rendition of an Etsy purchase. And that's for pile 2. And pile 3 is the traditional Rider-Waite. So take a second or pick a deck or whichever one's calling to you, and I will see you at your choice. Welcome my ⴑ pile, my pile 1. We're going to spread out your cards first. All right, my beautiful collective of pile 1. This position over here is I am. So this is the I am position. Who are you? Who are you now? We have the Martyr. And it says, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. And the Page of Swords. Beautiful energy, especially when we're talking about a learner's energy, and that page is exactly that. That learner, that student, that curious mind, transcending nature to the service of others. When it comes to spoken word, speech, action, conscious thought, psychology, all of that energy, there is, I just heard there's a want to clear up the confusion of the mind, of the minds of the youth. Oh, excuse me. So there might be a heavy emphasis on mental health issues, especially in children or in young adults. But I'm also getting a feeling of a seeker of truth, a seeker of, it's almost like in search of a better way. And a better way to connect with more and to allow people to open up more. Interesting. Okay, let's see what you are not. The Scribe. Interesting. Preserving knowledge and information. Again, speaking it out and getting it out into the world. Yeah, you're not keeping this like a secret to some degree. Like there's something about information or insight or knowledge that you do have to, like I said, something in a better way that you're not keeping to yourself. 4 of Pentacles. Interesting. Like I said, you're not holding on to it. You're not holding on to this information or hoarding secret information or secret knowledge back in the day where you had to get initiated into that type of knowledge. This is sort of the analogy they're giving me. They're like, I've already been initiated into it, but there are certain things here that need to and can be accessible to everybody that will lead them into their own initiation. That's the best way I can describe this energy. That's really pretty. I love that. Let's see what you all, but what are you also? Oh, look at you, the Messiah. Lovely. Serving humanity with humility. That's exactly right. Like I said, fully in this curiosity, wonder, service of the information, of the wisdom, with humility, looking for the good of all. Again, talking about teaching or connection to children, adolescents, young adults, etc. And the Hermit. Beautiful. Self-reflective, knowledgeable, a wise leader, a good path to follow. It's lovely. It really is this beautiful. It really does feel like a crusader type of energy, a crusader of truth, of clarity of the mind. They keep saying that, clarity of the mind. I want to sneeze right now. It's not coming out. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. This position over here is what you can't understand about yourself. We have the heart chakra. Interesting. And the Empress in reverse. Ooh. I don't know how to word this. It feels before I sit with it a little bit longer, it feels like you're more lovable than you give yourself credit for. You're way more nurturing and forgiving and compassionate than you allow yourself to see. You might be really hard on yourself. It might be completely open, and exactly with like all the energy that you're giving and putting into this, you may not see that within yourself in some way. Yeah, there's something about like maybe not being able to see how much more that you can actually love yourself, or see how loving you can be. There's something about that energy about loving self, and maybe it comes back to that martyr energy where you're giving it all out, you know, in somewhat of a subconscious or a conscious way of distracting yourself from giving more love to you. And that might be why they brought up the children or the adolescents, you know, that saying that they're like, be the parent or be the guardian that you wish that you had. You know, it's almost to the extreme of that in the energy that I'm feeling over here. You know, because of the fact that you didn't get whatever it is that you thought may have been lacking from your past, that you're giving into whoever you are now, whatever you are now, however you present now. There's something about that energy of you needing to give what you give out to yourself and recognize that you need it too. Okay, let's see what you're proud of yourself for. Nice. The 𝘿𝙀𝙁𝙁, Sephiroth, and the Page of Cups. Beautiful. This is a new deck for me, and I'm not completely familiar with all the levels of the Tree of Life, so I'm going to look in the book for this dude. So in this reference, they say the key word here is glory. It's the base or foot of the left pillar of the sphere of the Tree of Life. The key to energy being given physical forms, as well as the governing influence over intelligence, critical thinking, and reasoning. It allows truth to be discovered by seeing through deception caused by too much emotions. Approach your situation through reasoned deduction and response. Uncover the truth of all things by eliminating all deceptions, including self-deceptions. That's a beautiful thing to be proud of in this beautiful energy of 𝘿𝙀 here. 𝘿𝙀𝙁, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think that's correct. Sephiroth. So what you're really proud of is being able to decipher that. Where are the illusions? How am I using my critical thinking? Again, talking about the mind, right? Clearing the mind out of confusion. And really proud of being able to bring some love and nurturing back into that energy. Totally respectable, and I absolutely think you're on track. But Spirit's like, what you can't understand about yourself is how loving that you actually are, and how you need to give it to yourself too. Like I almost feel like it feels like stricter love. Like that's what it feels like, that you've naturally been in this like sort of strict role. But Spirit's saying like you're giving so much love and nurturance, even though it might feel sharp. I don't know how else but that feeling is there and it's not leaving. And I think I have to say it before it leaves me, because I was holding on to it. And I was hesitating a while here. The method that you have chosen is working, regardless of the doubts. Hold on to the belief of what you're creating. Certain shields will take time to dismantle, but persevere and the phoenixes will rise. Woo! That hit my crown chakra in a very different way, guys. Okay, Padawan, damn. Okay, so we're going into position 6 now. The worst thing that anybody could say about you. Let's see. Full body. And the King of Swords. coming back to that sharp and discipline and concise. Like, it's almost like you don't want to feel, again, too strict. You don't want to feel like there's no room for negotiation or whatever that case is. And I'm also getting in the most literal sense, like if we're going to just talk when it comes to certain personal triggers possibly, you know, and that trigger could be about, you know, being full-bodied or perceived as overweight or being teased about your weight that created a mental disconnect, you know, like however this plays out for you. That's sort of like the worst thing that somebody could say is insult your physical appearance and also feel like that you might be, again, too sharp, too disciplined, too strict, too responsible, you know, when what you're going after has nothing to do with that besides the discipline, you know. And it's interesting that who you are now, you're coming from an energy of the page, right? It's like this open for curiosity, and they're seeing you like sort of fixed, you know, in that King of Swords hierarchy of the top of the Swords energy, right? The court cards. It's like you're set in your ways here, and this one, it's like you're still developing them. There's like, it's an interesting jump, you know, on how, or what I should say, might, excuse me, trigger you or annoy you in a particular way when it comes to the worst thing that somebody could say. Interesting. Let's see one of the most wonderful things that people could say to you, or say about you, excuse me, say about you. The Chesed and the Sephiroth and the Knight of Rods. So the key word here is mercy, representing mercy, kindness, grace, compassion, or love. It's an organizational sort of energy to inspire action. You're being asked to restart a project that you might have been thinking about. The creative energies are beginning to manifest. The time of active material creation is now, and the energies of the sphere support you in your creation. Speaking of creative energy when it comes to the Knight of Rods, so it definitely feels like here you are, what the best thing they could say is like you're a go-getter. You're a trendsetter, like again, that crusader, trailblazer, another word. You go after what it is that you're seeking. You're not afraid to take on risks. And you're also not afraid to change is what I'm also hearing too, hence this reflective energy. You know, serving humanity with humility. And you're doing all of this like transitional stuff for the benefit of the future human race. The evolution of souls. And the mercy provided to whatever energies need that type of healing. The kindness, the grace, the gratitude, the humility. It's all here. That's beautiful. Lovely energy. I love that. Okay, let's see what the most honest thing somebody could say about you. Okay, culinary arts. Interesting. And the 8 of Cups. This is interesting. So they just gave me a side note here. When it came to the worst thing that somebody could say about you, or to you, excuse me, is that right? To you. The worst thing that somebody could say to you. And the most honest thing somebody could say about you. They're bringing me to this. Like, you might be like a foodie in general, and that might be the trigger. It might have been like, I don't know, you ate a lot. People are like, oh, you can eat a lot for a tiny little thing, or something like that. Or, you know, and then it created this sort of weird dysmorphia in the connection to, or again, these are just examples of they're how they're connecting these two for me here. And because it's like the most honest thing, like this may be a perception like, oh, they really love food, or I always see them eating, you know, or be careful you don't do that, you're going to get fat, you know. It's that kind of energy that this is coming from. Side note, okay? The most honest thing on this energy alone is you love food, you love fine tasting things. I'm feeling like senses stuff. It doesn't mean they has to be expensive. It's about the taste, the flavor, the richness of the food is what I'm getting at. And I'm also getting at that you will walk out on things that are not good, tasty, full of art and creativity. That's kind of the energy. It's like you'll walk away from that energy. If shit's shit, you'll be like, you'll call out shit. You'll call a spade, in other words, you know? That's what I definitely feel, which is, again, with this clarity and this sharpness, like you know, it's like there is just something very honest about who you are. And I feel like sometimes people have a hard time seeing through the lens that you see the world. I'm getting a lot of circular energy for you guys. They just say like things coming full circle or coming into completion very soon. I don't know what that's about. Interesting. Can also just be like you love to cook, you love to go out and eat, you love to try new recipes. It can be you just like to create beautiful, tasting, smelling, feeling type of things. And I feel like you also don't get really attached to certain things either. That's very interesting. Beautiful. Okay, so this 9th position over here is going to be, in one word, who are you? So we're going to condense all the energies that we get, and I'm going to find that word based on the cards that are here for you, my pile 1. So first card we have the Damsel. Interesting. It says, understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. Interesting. So an extra layer there. I'm going to get them all out first before I give you the one word I'm feeling. And then we have Capricorn. And then we have 20s. I'll put that over here. And Temperance. So my beautiful collective, in one word, I don't know if I can give you one word. I will find the word, though. The importance of having grounded, stable relationships when you are younger is crucial to the development of who you become. And because of this, you choose to maintain a beautiful, healthy balance between youth and maturity, between practicality and spirituality. So in essence, you are balance. You are stability. You are the in-between, the possible and impossible. This is beautiful. Wow. Wow, my pal ones, this is amazing. So who you are now, self-definition, my lovely. You are a teacher, this crusader of clarity of the mind, truth and removal of delusions, of a nurturer so deep that you sometimes forget to give it back to yourself, but you are reflective enough to know and be proud of the things that you have accomplished when it comes to the shadow sides of when you used to be in that old version of the martyr, of the poor me. You have matured past that, and people see that. People see that. People see your gentleness, how clearly you think, where this joy and fullness comes from, where your zest for life and creativity will continue, because you maintain that curiosity, that jovial, that ready and wondrous spirit, and you anchor it in. Oh, my beautiful collective of pile 1. I hope that was helpful and gave you even some more insight into who you are. I'm sending you so much love. If this resonated in any way, please let me know. I'd love to hear about it. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time. Ciao. All right, pile 2. Let's spread out your cards. All right, my wonderfuls of pile 2. This position over here is the I am position. Who are you now? The Pioneer. Light attributes. Passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Beautiful. And the Ten of Wands in the reverse. So funny. Sorry, I'm laughing because I'm like, speaking of what hasn't been done before, you're like, let go of that shit. Why are you holding on to it? There's an easier way to do it. That's what I heard. Like, can you believe that if you just let go, it'd be that much easier? It's that kind of feeling. It's so simple. This is interesting. It's like you're taking on a perspective of no longer carrying burdens either the way that they had been carried before or releasing them altogether. And that, it's like, how would I describe this? It's almost like everybody had been following a particular set of guidelines or rules that had always been done this way, but always created like a humongous like buttload of stuff for this person to do or the thing to do. And you're like, hey, if we just separated this so that by the end of this one person isn't carrying all of this, this is never going to be an issue. Why have we not thought about this? You know, it's something that seems so obvious, but people have just been doing it a poor way before. Like, that's the best way I can describe the energy. But regardless of that scenario, it really does feel like similar to the energy of 𝘿𝙀𝙁, just different. Your pioneer feels more specifically in our timeline as a different type of entrepreneur, because entrepreneur now has become something quite of a norm. You know, so it feels like there's something else that you're creating within this entrepreneurial environment that somewhat has not been done before or hasn't been done in the way that you are approaching it. Let's see what you are not. The Mystic. Interesting. Revels in intimate union with the divine, and the Fool in the reverse. Wow, this is interesting. My pal too. What I heard first is, I am no fool to get lost in the hoopla of all the spiritual woo-woo bullshit that's happening. Whoa! That's what I first got. Second thing is, when it comes back to this pioneer energy, it's especially if it comes to like when I was giving you the example of people following a certain thing, and it's like, why are we doing it this way? There's an easier way to do it. It's like, I'm not going to get swept up in what everybody else is doing or in the way that everybody else is doing. Maybe it has a lot to do with some sort of spiritual work, but it is completely non-spiritually viewed. Like, it could be literally like computer graphics. It could be something like that where nobody's really going to affiliate per se that with computer graphics, but maybe you're getting transmuted light languages and you're creating something in these digital platforms. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's something like that energy. Anyway, there's something very different about it. Interesting. But what you're not is a fool. You're not going to fall for the charlatans. You can see truth because you know where that spark comes from, that creative spark comes from. It's almost like I can identify truth when it's here. But there's a lot of falseness that I'm not going to fall or succumb to, even if I might fall into the same categories where these people may be. I hope that makes sense. Let's see what you are also, though. Beautiful. Look at that. A magical child. That's, of course, there it is. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things. The belief that everything is possible. Exactly. Exactly. You are a magical child. And this is why you're not like revels in the intimate union with divine child. It's, again, beautiful. It's almost like we are coming all from the same source here. In the perspective of this, it feels like I don't need to have like a deliberate, like intimate divine union with source when we already are it. I am connected with me, therefore I already am. There's no doing. That's the best way I can say it. So you are already this beautiful magical child, hence why you're the not only person, but it feels like you're one of the few that can embody this pioneer spirit with the innocence of a child, without the greed that might come with it later. You know, like that kind of energy is what I'm feeling here. It's lovely. And the fact that you, again, this pioneer, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things in all ways, in all versions. And the King of Cups, beautiful. Nurturing. emotionally mature. And I also feel that you do not like, it's runaway is not the right word. Like you don't shun your immaturities. I don't know how else to describe it, because I don't want to say immature in an insulting way or in a bad or with a negative feel to it. It's a part of the innocence. Like, I don't know where your immaturity comes out. Like, if it comes out when it comes to, like, I don't know, if it's like a certain thing. For example, for me, like, I hate manually washing dishes. I don't know what that's about. Like, not a joke. I'd rather clean the bathroom with a toothbrush. Like, I would prefer that. I don't know what it is. I know what it is, what I'm meaning. Like, I didn't know originally what it was. And I would be talking back with my brother. I'm like, why? But why, when we talk about dishes, my brother feels the exact same way. So it had to do with something in our house. I'm like, but why is it about the dishes that makes us feel so much animosity towards doing these frickin' dishes? And we were thinking about it, I'm like, it's not like we didn't do chores. Like, we did chores all the time. Like, that's my point. So why I can give that reference of rather scrubbing a washroom with a toothbrush. And my brother and I had come to this conclusion that because it felt like a punishment, like, and it was every single day, you know, when we get chores, it's almost like, okay, wash the floors this week, or this is like, do the laundry, or take off the sheets or something, whatever it was, you know, but it was never like a daily thing. And the daily thing became like a punishment because we never wanted to do it. Anyway, long story short, that now has become a thing for me. Like, I have an apartment that doesn't have a dishwasher. I bought a countertop dishwasher. I have and they had one sink. Like, it was just so many things that I didn't want. This is my point. This is what this feels like. It's almost like you allow yourself your immaturities, and you're like, I know this about myself. I have created other things to help me through these emotional stupidities. I'll call mine stupid. Do you know what I mean? There's no need for me to have this stupidness at this age, you know? But regardless, it is who I am, and I don't know if I'll really ever love doing dishes, to be honest. So I've embraced that as the long-winded point I'm trying to make here. That's what this energy feels like. You allow yourself and to indulge in your own immaturities sometimes, and you're not judgmental of it, and within others either. Okay, for your fourth position over here is what you can't understand about yourself. Aries. And the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Interesting. You know what I heard first? Like, how you do what you do. Like, if somebody were to ask you, like, how do you do this? You're like, I don't know, I just do it. Like, that's the feeling I get. I'm hearing, I don't wait for things to happen to me, I initiate. I just heard, I don't want somebody to tell me I can't do something before I've physically tried. I'm a stickler for proving people wrong. And I know that I am stubborn and bullheaded at times. I can come across a bit elitist. Interesting. They said the elitism comes from spiritual and mental fortitude. I mean, the songs that come into my head at the most random times, burlesques. I know I've sang this song before on this channel. I need a tough lover, yeah, yeah. That song where she's when the mics get cut off and she just starts singing a cappella. It's that moment, you know. Like, I don't wait for people to freaking throw me under the bus and make me look like the chump. Like, no, I'm ready. I'm ready to do whatever. That's the energy I'm feeling. And what you can't understand about yourself is how you maybe actually do this. Like, where that impetus comes from, where that power, that strength, that fortitude comes from. And it comes from here, that magical child, that knowing that you are a part of that source, not needing to create some sort of, no disrespect. And again, as a person who's doing this, I totally get this, you know, like, I'm not needing to create this, like, again, please take this, no disrespect, but this is just the energy I'm feeling here. I don't need to create a shrine or an altar. I don't need to go to church. I am it. I be it. I live it. I breathe it. So I am already connected. This is the energy I'm feeling. So again, like I said, with that knowing, that's why this is like, you don't know how to kind of describe it because it's sort of innate. You were born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Like, you were born with it. you know? So it's hard to teach something that you're born with. Interesting. Let's see what you're proud of yourself for. Hilal, nice. Halil? Halil. That's probably right. And then the sun in the reverse. Ooh. You know what I'm feeling first? I'm getting this really beautiful sense of rooted and grounded energy for you. And what you're proud of is like there's no ego involved in your choices, in your persona, in your personality, in your way of being. There's no ego. You leave room for everybody to shine. You're very connected and rooted into this material, earthly transition of things, hence this pioneer. And this energy of you bringing this into the earthly plane, you know? It's that mystic wisdom, again, that same energy that I was feeling like I am already a part of this, so I know how to harness that energy and root it down. As I was saying before, this deck is new for me, so I'm going to read you a little bit from the book. The Elemental Trinity Healing, meaning goodness, greatness, and light. Its energy resonates strictly with the earth, the material, the physical base plane of existence, and the groundedness and solidity of all things. It is the foundation that holds together the manifests. The answers to your question is based solely in the energies of the physical realm, which leads to the self-reflective question, is this for the benefit of myself and of others? Exactly. So you're proud of knowing what is good for the benefit of all. Is it benefiting me? Is it benefiting the whole? And I think this is where that first channeling sentence came out, you know, like I'm not falling for that tomfoolery of the something that's happening here. There's a different type of connection that you have that's, I don't know how else to describe it besides, you know, everything that I said, like it's being pulled in, like it's within you. Mudras might be really specific for you, like hand mudras. They're showing me a whole bunch right now. They're like giving me emotions. I don't know what they all are. So, okay, might be light language too. Who knows? There's a heavy emphasis on that. Beautiful. Okay, let's see your sixth position over here, which is the worst thing anybody could say about you. That's a lie. The worst thing anybody could say to you. Okay, fair complexion. And the Knight of Pentacles. What I heard first, which is interesting, I heard slow and lethargic. I don't know why they're bringing me that. So with the fair complexion, it can be, again, we'll just take the base value of the card. It can be a thing where you don't like being called too pale, or that you're pale, or that, your skin's so white, or it's so snowy. Like this might be an insult for you, you know, a personal thing, and you don't like being told to you. That could be just very surface of what it is. But what I'm getting with this fair complexion with the Knight of Pentacles, it's this like fragility and lack of movement. You know, somebody who's really scared and timid is the energy I'm getting, that wants for more but doesn't actually go after it. You don't want to be perceived as like a follower, and I want to say pansy. Like that's the word that wants to come out. I don't want to feel like a pansy. Like I don't want to feel like a chump. Like that's what I said. Like there's something about that energy where that's the worst thing that somebody could say to you. Like you're being a follower, or you're a chump, or you don't know what you're talking about, or you're lazy, you haven't done like almost diminishing your actual value and your knowledge. This is interesting energy. Wow. I'm also hearing like you're too soft, you don't know what you're talking about. What work have you done? You know, it's that kind of energy, that kind of stuff is insulting to you. Interesting. Let's see what's one of the most nice things that somebody could say to you. Look at that. Look at that. And the Seven of Wands in the reverse. You bring peace. Like that's the most wonderful thing that somebody, could say to you. You bring me peace. I don't need to fight for that peace. I don't need to fight to be seen, to be understood, to be listened to be heard, to be in presence with. There's no fighting for, again, there's no ego. Again, you allow people space to shine. No ego. And the energy of the Om talks about creation, preservation, consciousness, harmony, balance, peace, working through chaos and disorder. So people legitimately see you as this beautiful peacekeeper. Like, again, a wonderful energy. And they're really bringing me back to this. Even though this is what you are not, this mystic energy is who you are. It's like, I'm not the mystic in the way that people have perceived this particular avenue, this niche. You know, it's a different approach. Like I keep saying, it's a different approach. That's the most wonderful thing somebody could say about you, of them recognizing this. Like, I feel at peace and in harmony when I'm with you. Or you bring clarity to, you know, the parts of me that I was fighting. Or, oh, because you did it, I know I can, and I don't have to fight in the way that I had been. It's that kind of beautiful recognition. I love it. Amazing. Okay, let's see what the most honest thing someone can say about you. Procrastinators. So maybe this is the reason why this is hurtful. That lazy and, you know, unmotivated. That's might be why it's a trigger. Are you a procrastinator, Paul, too? I can relate. And the Three of Swords in the reverse. That's lovely. Okay, interesting. So two things with those cards here. I also, the first thing that they're giving me was procrastinating when it comes to getting yourself out of situations, lingering on or holding on to certain things that need to be let go of. And that can be more internal, and it might not be an external thing that everybody would recognize about you. Second thing is, you can legitimately, like I said, be this procrastinator energy, but you do allow yourself to, you do recognize that about yourself, coming back to the immaturity. You know, like, I know I'm a procrastinator. I know I should be doing something right now, but I'm not going to move. I think you allow yourself that. And I think that's legitimately honest about you. I am trying to reintroduce myself to the word procrastination and lazy. Lazy's been a particular trigger word for me growing up because of my mother. Well, that's where it started anyway, so that's all I can say. I don't know why it's still lingering, but that's where it started. So because of that, there is a recognition of, am I actually legitimately being lazy, or am I preventing myself from recognizing what I don't want to do? You know, and if there's something that I don't want to do, why do I not want to do it? Or how can I not find the joy to complete it? There are certain mundane tasks that we have to just do, and we do them, you know, we do them. So why is this particular area hard for me to do? Why can I find a better way? And if I cannot find a better way, or cannot find the proper solution, I need to find a new way, or I'm not the one who should be doing it. If you can't do your freaking taxes, don't screw yourself in the brain trying to figure it out when somebody can do it for you. I understand that, but find somebody that you trust. Find somebody that they trust, if you don't know anybody in that respect, and then go through those channels, even if it takes you a while. Don't do the shit that you know, like, even if you want to learn how to do it, do that. But why give yourself that stress? I'm a big advocate of that. Hire the people who enjoy doing the parts that you don't. If you can't hire somebody, then learn from those people, and at least try to have somebody who's going to keep you accountable. That's all I can say about that. But that's what the most honest thing that they would say, is that you probably might be a little bit of a procrastinator. But I do feel like you recognize that about yourself, and they don't think that anybody would deny that about you. I don't think that you're in denial about it either. Okay, beautiful. And so your ninth card over here is going to sum you up in one word, so to speak. Well, we'll try anyways. We're going to flip all the cards first, and then we'll try and find that one word. Fool, woo! Look at that. No fool in the reverse, right? Like, sorry, the fool over here in the reverse with the I am not. And then fool upright. Fearlessly revealing emotions, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. Exactly. Exactly, my love. Exactly. That's why you're that pioneer. Why is this? This is ridiculous. How come this hasn't been thought about before? The magic is that's within. I'm not a fool or a chump to fall to these whatever this cockamamie stuff that's going on. I will make you recognize where these, again, like what you don't see about yourself. I don't know how I do it, but it's doable. You give people that peace and harmony. You give people the place to shine. You know how to bring in that source energy. It's freaking awesome. Sorry, but we'll get to all the cards out first. I said I was going to not talk. Then we have Earth. Beauty. Sorry, they keep going. They're like all four elements in balance. They brought me to the Wheel of Fortune right away. They're like, I'm the one who's creating this shift. I know how I'm so connected to source. Everything is in alignment. Again, I will read from the book for this, don't worry. And then water sign. And I talked about that, right? Emotionally mature, connected to that energy. I think I want to put this here. Sorry, guys. And then we have the Seven of Cups. So we talked about that Fool a bit. The Earth, talking about life, the beauty of existence, the powers of rejuvenation, unification, and nurturing, taking care of yourself foremost. And then we have that water sign, which is emotional depths, emotional maturity. Seven of Cups, talking about confusion, but also choices. It also can talk about imagination. And again, talk about manifesting, right? Like, how do I create this and bringing it down into the earthly and the material realm? That the consciousness of manifestation. So how would I sum you up into one word? I want to say, I don't have a word. I'm going to try and condense it eventually into one word. I heard, the cosmic fool. I also heard the liberated slave. I'm going to say flow. You are flow. You are the essence of what it means to flow. To flow from source into this earthly realm, into this third density. You are the pioneer, the spark, the seed that allows the mystical to be manifested. For the truth to be felt and initiated upon from that feeling. For the beauty of all the magic to be touched by everyone, for everyone. To be aware of who you are and when you need to take a break. Emotional depth can be a source of great sadness, but great liberation. You must figure which side you'd prefer to fight with and for. Wow. Wow, 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 pal 2. That is who you are, my beautiful collective. This beautiful pioneer spirit that is ready to light the way. My collective, I'm sending you so much love. If this resonated for you, please let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Until next time, keep watering your lives. Ciao. Welcome, my pal 3s. All right, let's get started. Sprout your cards. All right, my lovelies of pile 3. This position is where we're going to start, and it is going to tell us who you are. It's the I am position, who you are now. The hero or the heroine. Passion for a journey of personal empowerment. Beautiful. And the Seven of Swords. Lovely. Speaking about journey for empowerment, I love that the Seven of Swords came out with this, because for me, in this context, is talking about the strategy of knowing when to leave certain situations or knowing what to take from certain situations for the development and empowerment of personal growth. I feel that you don't need to be rescued. You are your own rescuer. I don't feel any kind of like damsel-y energy. It's It's very, very sure-footed and very strategic and calculated is what it feels like. That's lovely. Let's see what you are not. The Hermit. Interesting. Seek solitude to focus intently on inner life. Serves personal creativity. Because I feel so strongly about this this hero and heroine energy, the passion for the journey of personal empowerment. That passion is very external is what I feel. I feel like you're about things getting done, about experiencing things out in the actual world, as opposed to it being about an inner kind of journey. It feels very much like through experience is how you're wanting to cultivate this knowledge in some way. Yeah, and then the Eight of Cups. Like this is what it feels like. It's not like you're walking away from that inner journey or that spiritual journey. It's just you would prefer to experience it through things, through events, through, for example, they're giving me like solitary witch as opposed to a coven witch. Or they're giving it to me as in the person who would prefer, I should say, spiritual retreats, travel to spiritual places, hiking to these certain areas. Like that's kind of the spiritual, like the literal pilgrimage of spirituality, in that sense of either gaining knowledge from all these different walks of life, environments, cultures, ethnicities, backgrounds, and that's how you're gaining like what to take, on this passionate journey for personal empowerment. It's lovely. Let's see what you are also, though. What are you also? The Servant. Lovely. Delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. Feels very fitting. This is what this whole passion for the journey is. And the service too, right? Because of the fact I feel like it's an exchange. Like it really does make me feel like that vagabond, car life kind of energy. That wanderer, like that is really what this feels like. This is lovely. And when I'm talking about the service, it's like I will give you my services to like live here. I'm getting like different countries is what I'm getting at. Like can I stay here for a week and I will, clean and do whatever it is you need me to do. That's that energy there. I'm also getting like a lot of volunteering for services, like in exchange for like back in the old day kind of vibe, I will plow your land if you can feed me for whatever. It's that type of energy. Interesting. And then the Queen of Wands. Yeah, it's beautiful. You know what I'm really getting? Like you're very humble and you don't you don't treat anybody differently no matter what the status is, whether they're royalty or the servant, or the help, I should say, royalty or the help. And I love that because I feel like you've been both. Like I feel like you've been, what it feels like to have a little or to have nothing, and to have a lot. And or the perspective of what a lot means to you is different than most because you may have had less. Like it's a very interesting feeling where that how that energy transmutes within your actions. It's a beautiful appreciation of the understanding of the different phases of life. That nothing is permanent. Everything fluctuates. I heard at will. Interesting. So that is what you are also, my lovely. This beautiful, self-aware energy that is very inclusive and extremely pleasant to be around. Lovely. Let's see what you can't see about yourself. Nice. The third eye chakra. with the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. What I heard first was how wealthy you actually are. This is interesting that I brought up the the energy of the servant, or having nothing and having a lot. They're giving it to me like your material bounty comes from your spiritual quest. This is why they're bringing me back to the strategy energy of what it is that you need to take and what needs to get left behind. And it also brings me back to that same energy of having a lot and not having it all. And I feel that you may not know how you're doing this spiritual work, in a sense, by the way that you go about it. Maybe it's not even you. Maybe it's the way that it's perceived. And maybe it is the way that you perceive it. Maybe you don't think that you're actually doing any sort of spiritual work, that you're not on sort of any sort of spiritual pilgrimage, when Spirit's like, yeah, you are. And you're gaining all this spiritual wealth from this type of experience, from the doing. And you have a beautiful psychic connection to that in some way. That is how you're connected. This is what's pushing you to do all of these things for this passionate journey of personal empowerment. That's where it's coming from. I love that. What are you proud of yourself for? The Cross. I heard bearing the burdens. And the Page of Cups. I just heard being able to smile when shit hits the fan. You're really well equipped to analyze your conscious programming, your conduct, analyzing your convictions and your motivations. And you do it with gentleness, with love, with compassion. Like you're really proud that you don't anymore, it feels like, because this is who you are now, right? That you don't harp on yourself for the things that don't work out or didn't fit, so to speak. And like I said, proud of yourself being able to carry burdens and being able to surpass the burden, to resurrect yourself out of past versions. Again, from rich to poor, poor to rich. You know that cycle, so it doesn't matter which spectrum that you fall on. You know how to get up and fall down with grace. Wow. Gotta teach me, pal 3. Beautiful. Okay, so position 6 is, what's the worst thing somebody could say to you? Beauty and fashion. Ooh. What I felt first was narcissistic. I heard self-involved and vain. Why is that? Maybe that comes from that money situation that I was feeling before. Maybe you did come from privilege first. Maybe you walked away from that starting at zero and created your own personal wealth. Or maybe you're in the process of something like that. Some sort of disconnect from a connection that, you know, so semi-established who you were. That doesn't matter if it's one spectrum or the other, rich to poor or something in between. But that's what it's feeling like for me first. And then we have the King of Cups. Yeah, I'm feeling vain. Emotionally disconnected, self-involved. Again, that's like the worst thing that somebody could say to you. And because of this energy, like you're so full of service and know how to be both, that regardless of which persona I choose to identify with in a current day or energy, it doesn't take away from who I actually am. You know, what I've been through, what I know how I've experienced life. And it's like a how dare you. That's a feeling like, how dare you judge me based on this superficiality. You know, you might be really attractive too, and that might be a contender where it's like, that's all they talk about is the beauty and not the intelligence and the intellect. And again, maybe I brought up damsel, like you wouldn't be that damsel. Maybe that's the way you appear, or that's how you've been treated, you know? Interesting. Somebody always wanting to take care of you. That's the feeling I'm getting. And I feel annoyed by it. I don't feel like it's something that you want. And it's not to say that we don't all want somebody to take care of you. It's like this taking care of you, it's almost like you're not able to do anything on your own. That's what I mean by taking care of. Like you're overly protected. Interesting. Let's see one of the most wonderful things somebody could say to you. Uranus. Beautiful. And death. Nice. I feel like you surprise people. You know how to pick yourself up out of the despair, the ashes. Like I said, I've been through some shit and I know how to get through it. You're expansive. You're worldly. You, again, know how to embrace change, how to take things in and what to leave behind. You're comfortable, or are now comfortable, I should say, with tension. Like I said, you know how to bear burdens and you come out gracefully. Extreme amount of knowledge and adaptability because of the experience. That's why you're so adaptable too, because you allow yourself to experience, or you just have. You create shifts, you like things to end and complete and new cycles to begin. I heard you're a harbinger of truth to a boring existence. To the ones, that feel life is a boring existence. That's interesting. You know why I feel this is interesting? Because obviously I've seen this card a cajillion times, but I have never been brought to this child in particular, or lady, the one in the front here looking out at us. The only one that's directly looking out to us. And death is looking at that child. It's like the rebirth begins with this one. The old way is done. The younger than you isn't quite aware just yet, you know? The innocence within you. The higher self, or the old version of you, is pleading or praying or honoring the death of the process. But that child, that rebirth, that initiation, that unexpected is the best thing that they could say about you. You're a transitioner, a transformer. It's beautiful. I love it. Okay, let us see. What's the most honest thing somebody could say to you, or about you, Petite. You might be really small. And 5 of Wands. Oopsies, I'm so sorry. That's okay. And the 5 of Wands. So you could be petite, exactly like, again, maybe just about your physical appearance. It might be a thing that seems to be connecting in everybody's reading today. So if that's sort of the worst thing somebody could say, is just like addressing your physical beauty or your physical features in some way, the aesthetic of you, that might be a thing. But what I'm getting here is feisty. What I'm getting, the most honest thing is like, she feisty. She, I don't know if you're a she or not, but it doesn't really matter. I'm hearing feisty. Small and mighty, don't underestimate. I heard there's a fire in the step and a snap in the tongue. Do not cross this person. And I'm also getting a sense of like, they don't need you. So don't try and play them like you got something more to offer them or not. Like, they don't need that. So either you come true or you and I are going to be in a quarrel. I love that. Get it, pal 3. Okay, so for your 9th position over here, it is going to be, it's the position of summing you up in one word. So I'm probably going to have a difficult time doing this, but I'm going to lay out all the cards, speak about them, and then eventually condense it into one word, what I've discovered. So, vampire, boom. In one word to sum you up, hey? So, makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Boom. When you talk about you better come true, you know, a passion for the journey and personal empowerment. You know, that servant, maybe that's echoing to here because of the fact that you've been on both spectrums. You understand when people are being taken advantage of, and it's not for the benefit of the whole. You know, it's only for the benefit of the one. You call that ish out. Then, Raku, nice. I like this. This talks about, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a Reiki practitioner. I would like to be eventually, but I'm just reading up on a little bit of it. If I'm not mistaken, it's that sigil or the sign that they would do to disconnect from one of their clients when the work is finished. You know, but it also, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to read in the book, connects to that energy too. So there's something about when you present people with almost like the facts of, this is what's happening, this needs to be severed. Can you see this? You bring it to light entirely. So it says, Raku says, it helps lift negative energy while taking the student into awareness. Raku brings energy in through the body's chi, channels, meridians, etc. It is also used at the end of attunement to help separate the master from the student after a session is complete. You're being asked to consciously and subconsciously lift negative influences and energy from your life. This is this energy here, that death, away, the burdens, away, removing, away, away. Body art. Beautiful. Put this here. And the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. So what I'm feeling, what I'm feeling here when it comes to the vampire energy and who you are, or like in one word, again, that light bringer, you're a harbinger of truth. This is what it feels like. You sever the delusions of what I'm feeling is a sense of, there's no sense to pity oneself for situations because everybody's going through their own shit. Everybody is. So either you're going to do something about it or you're going to stay swallowed in that energy. And that's what you do. You're like, cut the tie here. Create something new. You are not alone. You're more nurturing possibly than people might understand in the way that you give it. You know, yours is very practical, it's very real, and it's very hands-on. Interesting, they're giving to me in the body art, you can always add on, but it's rare to take away when it comes to body art, unless there's laser therapy now, laser removal now. But that never used to be a thing, right? Body art was considered permanent for a while, and most people do it, especially spiritually speaking or tribally speaking, it's for a purpose, right? It's not supposed to be removed, but there's always things that can be added on to this. So that's what I'm feeling like. So to sum you up into one word, I would say lightning. That'd be the word that I would give you. You are lightning in essence. Because of the fact that you have this beautiful innate passion for this journey towards personal empowerment and taking all of the shitty experiences you've had and you continuously transmute it, continuously create something beautiful out of something that wasn't great. You're continuously looking for experiences, humbling yourself and not putting yourself below anybody. You are always at an equal playing field with whomever you encounter. Sometimes you forget the spiritual wealth and experience and abundance that you actually have, possibly because of past experiences or possibly because you are trying to maintain this essence of humility. Regardless, you are so proud of yourself for the shit that you have been through, how you've carried it, how you've come out of it, how you've moved through it with beauty and grace, how you're not particularly fond of people only recognizing the physical attributes of who you are and either pegging it when it comes to like, you're being too emotional or you're being too this in connection to my gender or to my emotional state. There's something about that energy in here. You're not a fan of that. And you're like, if you're going to come at me with this kind of outdated boxed version or view of me, you and I are going to fight. We're going to have a debate and we're going to have an argument and I will figure out, do I need to sever that tie with this person? I am here to create harmony and to show you that when either you're draining my energy or somebody else's, I will bring that to light, still being of service to you. But my way and method may not be one of complete brightness. It is covered and echoed in shadow, but bringing me out in light. That lightning, you are a lightning bolt, my loves. It's what you do. Boom, just illuminates a spot, blows it up, kind of vibe, and be like, this is the focus point. Are you paying attention? Oh, my lovely collective of pile 3, that was freaking awesome. Every pile was so different, connected in very many similar ways, but so different. You have an echo to both piles too, so if you were ever drawn to any of those other piles, please feel free. I hope this was helpful, and if it did resonate in any way, please let me know. I'd love to read about it. I am sending you so much love. Until next time, ciao.